during camp, you were talking about wanting elite execution by the time you got to the start of the season. Just with a couple of scrimmages, how close are you, do you feel, to elite execution, particularly from up front when that was an issue at the start of last year?
We're getting there. Our first scrimmage was not. Our defense kicked our butt in the first scrimmage. But by the second scrimmage, it was much better. Last week was much better. Guys flying around, doing their job. That was our main focus last week, was just do your 111th. Do your job. Don't try to do somebody else's job. Just do yours. Focus on your process. And then we can get all 11 playing the same call. We're going to give ourselves a chance to make plays on offense. So it's been a much better week, much better 2 weeks. Not that the first week wasn't good. It just kind of showed in that first scrimmage that we didn't come out. We didn't play physical. We didn't get momentum early against our defense. And it kind of spiraled in just to a kind of a meh kind of day. But the last 2 weeks, I thought have been really good by our guys.
Right here on the left, Matt.
How would you define the competition at quarterback the last couple of weeks and just your overall impressions of the growth of that room and I guess just what's going to make that decision hard for you?
Yeah, really competitive. Every single one of those kids comes in and works their tail off. And I know I keep saying that, but it's a really healthy room. Guys are bought into the process. Guys are bought into each other. They're their biggest fans, but they're also competing. And I've been in a quarterback battle before as a player. And I was against a first-round draft pick, Teddy Bridgewater. He was pretty good. But when you worry about other people, that's when you see it. Dante make a big play, and then somebody else might say, "Oh, I got to make a big play too." No, just do your job. Or Austin makes a big throw, and everybody else, "Oh, I got to make a throw now." No, just do your job. Just run the offense. So it's been great. It's been, like I said, really competitive. But I think it's starting to kind of shape out a little bit for us, and we'll see here in the next week or so where we're going to go.
In the back, Olivia.
You kind of just touched on this a little bit, but can you go more in depth about just how the quarterbacks have responded to just having to compete day in and day out during camp?
They've responded really well in drill work and meeting room prep and on the field play. And, becoming the starting quarterback is not easy, especially at a place like Oregon. It's very competitive. We have guys from all over the country that are here to compete, to win the job, especially with the history of the position here. 7 first-round draft picks at quarterback, Heisman Trophy winner, the winningest quarterbacks in college football history, or the most starts with Dylan and Bo. So it's there's a lot riding on it. There's a lot of, anxiety for everybody else about who's it going to be. But I know the person that we put out there is going to play winning football for us. And the good thing is they don't have to win it by themselves. We have a great team. We have great players around them, people that are bought in, a coaching staff that is as elite as anywhere you're going to find in the country. So all they got to do when they get their opportunity, go out there, run the show, be the point guard, get it to players, and just keep moving the chains.
Right here on the left, Aaron.
Coach Iapani talked about trying to find his voice as a leader, especially with a lot of new offensive linemen. Can you talk about his growth in that area, if any, and how has he maybe helped the young quarterbacks as well?
Yeah, Poncho's great. I mean, he's everybody's biggest fan. I mean, since the moment he stepped on campus, he's just been a shining light, I think, to our entire team. But yeah, he has found his voice. I mean, you hear him on the sideline when he's not in, when the other groups are going. He's constantly cheering on his teammates, constantly investing in others, talking to people on the sidelines, picking people up. He's got a great voice in our offensive room when we go unit meetings. So he's one of the vets. He's, I think, the only returning starter on our offense. So he's played a lot of ball, played as a true freshman. He does help the quarterbacks out a lot in terms of at the line of scrimmage, procedure, cadence, maybe specific run checks or pass protection, checks as well. So I'm really, really fortunate and glad he's on our team, and he's one of the main glue pieces to us as an entire program.
Right here with James.
A couple of weeks ago, you wanted to see who kind of rose to the occasion at receiver and whatnot. We certainly have seen some highlight reel moments from multiple individuals, but if you're looking for consistency and you're looking for multiple answers, who has stood out to be most consistent there over the last couple of weeks?
I mean, Bryan is one of the most consistent football players I've ever been around. He's a complete pro. He does everything you ask him to do. He blocks his ass off. He runs routes at the specific depth. He catches the ball, makes plays, good with the ball in hand. I mean, I was really saddened that he couldn't have an impact on our team like he wanted to, like we wanted to last season because of injuries. And I would have loved to have him, Tez, Trayshawn, all those guys out there, Evan working together. But obviously injuries plagued him last season. So I think he's in a great spot mentally, physically. He's super gifted. I mean, the guy's made plays here in 23. I think he had 40 something catches, 500 yards. So I remember the Arizona State play in 23 where he threw him a swing and he makes multiple people miss and takes it 65 yards to the house. So he's extremely consistent, and it starts with his prep. He's definitely, I would say, the leader of that group, and not just vocally, but just how he approaches every single day.
Right here in the middle, Tyson.
Well, it's been quite a while in your career since you've had kind of the prospect of starting a relatively inexperienced quarterback to start the season, and I'm wondering, what did you learn about that process during your time at UTSA, and maybe how have you changed as a coach since your time doing that?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually, I've been really fortunate. I took over at UTSA as the play caller in 22, and we had a guy named Frank Harris who started a lot of games as well and won a lot of games, won a conference title the year prior. Then I get here and I get Bo Nix and then Dylan Gabriel. So I've been, I mean, like crazy blessed. The last time it's been like this for me was honestly in 2018 at Lake Travis High School. I took over, a kid named Hudson Card was a receiver the year prior and took over as a starting quarterback in 2018 at a powerhouse in the state of Texas. And we ended up having a great year. And it's a lot of fun to have this type of challenge. The good thing is that when you have people that are bought in, that are about the process, that are smart, tough, dependable, and extremely talented like our room, it makes my job easier. Now, there's going to be growing moments throughout the season that maybe we haven't seen here in the past few years, but there's growing moments with Dylan too. There's growing moments with Bo. I got here, we tweaked things in the offense, changed some terminology. That was a process with Bo. Dylan was coming from a completely different system into this style of offense and had growing moments early. You think about Michigan State last year, threw 2 interceptions in the low red. UCLA early in the year threw a pick 6. So he was battling through his own process with us, that it was not a inexperienced quarterback, but it was new to this place. So the good thing is Dante's now in year 2 here. Austin's in year 3. Brock's in year 3. Luke's in year 2. That gives me a lot of peace of mind at night, knowing that I know they know the signals, they know the calls, they know the protections, they know our run checks, they know how we play offense. And I'm really, really excited to see them, take off this year and help us win games.
On the right, Alec.
Yeah. In interviews before, you've talked a lot or numerous times about how last season started. And I know we talked to Poncho at Media Day, and he referenced how that still motivates him, how they started the year last year. What did you learn? I know it's in the past, but what did you learn from how you guys started last year, and how are you applying that to how you start this year?
Yeah, I mean, and I know I talk about it, I've moved on past last year, but it is great to reflect and to think about, okay, what did we do then? How did we change? We had some personnel changes early on last season that helped us spark against Oregon State. But I just reflect on, just me as a coordinator, having too many plays going in the first game, right? We're coming out of fall camp. You got all these schemes that you've been doing for the past 3 weeks and in the summer and the spring, and you just can't carry that much offense into a week 1. And it doesn't matter who you're playing. It's what do you do well? What is schematically the best advantage against the defense that you're playing? And, what your players can go execute. So that's, I would say, the big piece for me is getting us in a good groove early. Involves players playing the most confidently that they can based on the calls that are in, based on the personnel groupings that we have on the field. And we'll use the experiences in the past to learn from and fuel ourselves going forward. But, we're going to be playing a really good team week 1, really good team. And I'm excited about the challenge and the opportunity at hand. But right now we're still just focused on our process and today, and today's practice was good, and tomorrow's practice is going to be good, and we're just going to keep building.
Right here on the left, Matt.
What do you like about your running back room, and I guess just maybe the depth? How many guys you feel like you have at that position that can
God,
do
it's
that?
really deep, and man, it's you start with Noah. What a great person, great leader. New father. Does everything. He's like a Gary. Does everything right. Has great talent. Has been here, is a program guy, but an elite player. And I think he's had a great time here, working with Jordan James and working with Bucky. And now he's really the leader of that room, which is great for him. Jay Harris, Jaden Lamar, both have had really strong camps. Dink Riggs have had a strong camp. Mackay's done really well, I'd say, this fall compared to where he was in the spring, just learning the system. Anytime you're new somewhere, it takes a little bit of time. Yeah, I told him the other day, I said, dude, we're running duo, we're running counter, we're running outside zone. You've been doing this for a long time. Just know what the call is and go run it, you know? So, and I think that kind of freed him up. And then you got two young players that are just, man, I'm starting to call them thunder and lightning, man. Like Jordan Davison and De'Ara Hill are going to be special players here for a long time. Really excited about them and their development and that whole room. You know, Coach Samples does a phenomenal job of distribution of carries, especially in practice, which is always hard. And those guys have responded, and they're a great unit, really great unit, and excited about what they're going to bring to us this year.
Last question, James.
Well, when you went back and looked at Dante's 23 film when you first got him in here, what did you see by way of what could translate? And at this level, there's always the thought in coaching that you can improve certain things from a decision-making completion percentage, and you have done that. But at the next level, there's always the fear that, like, well, if they can't do it there, they sure as heck aren't going to do it here. What did you see translate, and how have you seen it be able to already improve thus far?
I remember we got on PFF and just watched all of his completions. It took out all the picks and all that and young mistakes that a lot of quarterbacks experience early in their career when they're thrust into a role, limited offensive line play, getting sacked, running for your life. I mean, that can be kind of detrimental to a young quarterback. But what I saw when I turned on the tape, like, wow throws, like, oh my gosh, like, dang, that was a ball, you know? And when those kept showing up on the completions, some corner routes or scramble throws, you're like, dude, this guy's got elite arm talent. And I'd previously known Dante because if you remember when I got here, he was committed. So I went to MLK, I went to Detroit, I think 2 times that I was allowed to when I first got here. So knowing him, knowing his family, knowing the people around him, his high school coaches, I knew he was about the right stuff. It didn't translate to UCLA, and not because of lack of scheme. I mean, I think we all know Chip Kelly's a great coach, and I just don't think he had the players around him that you need if you're a true freshman to go be super successful. So when he has gotten here, you could see his talent has flourished. He's so humble. He's willing to learn. He reminds me, he's a great blend of like Bo football IQ and Dylan just can grab it, you know, can pull everybody together, which is really unique and special. I think I've said it in here before, but he wears 5. He's got a glove on his left hand. I played with Teddy Bridgewater. He does remind me a lot of Teddy. Now, Teddy threw with a glove on his right hand, but it's a lofty comparison for me, but he just got that kind of that moxie about him, that it factor that people just gravitate towards.